Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anna and you are watching the new Odom 2.0. I am in my studio now, yay! It's not done. I'm still waiting on my sound guys to get my microphone, and I'm still waiting on my new camera to come in. But I got my lighting, my background, my room. I can come in here and I can do my videos whenever I want. I'm so excited. As always, I'd like to just jump right in. I know sometimes some of you guys don't really like to watch the full video, and I don't know if that's because I'm not getting to the point fast enough, or if just my face and my look offends you. I don't know, I'm just teasing. But anyway, so let's get right into everything that's been happening since the last time I talked to you guys. All right. We have to discuss Jim Acosta. I'm sorry, we got to do it. Fast forward if you must, but let's just clear the air of this because this is a pretty big deal, especially when you have a lot of people calling what happened the other day an attack on the press corps, an attack on freedom of the press. And I feel it's so important to really set the record straight on what exactly happened yesterday. And I'm not even going to talk about the incident, okay? Because I really don't think that there was an actual incident, but I do think everything that Acosta did yesterday warranted his removal. Let's just leave it there. But let's just kind of go over what happened for a minute, because I feel like some people aren't even wanting to believe their own eyes right now, because there was this whole, the video was doctored kind of crap going around. And I never saw that video. I watched live and then I go back and rewatch things on YouTube. I did not watch the particular video that Sarah Sanders posted. But I had a couple people argue with me yesterday that I had watched the wrong video and that I was defending the wrong person. And I gotta say, first of all, in case you have not heard, BuzzFeed News came out and totally destroyed the doctoring of the video conspiracy. I am not big on as far as how technology works. I just like playing with it. So I'm sure I could ask my old man. I'm pretty sure I could ask a whole handful of people who are experienced in this. But I gotta say, if you post a video and you are it's converting itself into another format, or you've converted it into another format, apparently that is going to change something about the video. It's going to make it faster, or it's going to take things away. As far as what I understand, the video Sarah Sanders posted, it was turned into a GIF file. And when you do that, it actually removes some frames. I'm pretty sure if any of you have played with the GIF option on Twitter or Facebook, you'll notice it's kind of fast moving. They're saying that that's basically what happened to this video. That when it was uploaded in a different format that caused it on its own to change how it was displayed once it was uploaded. Now again, I don't know a lot about technology, but that makes a whole lot of sense to me. And I'm pretty sure when my old man gets home tonight, since that is like kind of what he does for a living, is sounds and things of that nature, he could definitely confirm or deny. But I'm going to go with BuzzFeed's experts and just my little bit of knowledge and how I play around on the internet all the time. I do see a difference in how certain videos are displayed depending on what format they're uploaded in. So that makes a lot of sense. And considering we have an administration that has been very, very vocal on fake news being the enemy of the people, it would make absolutely no sense for the Trump administration, Sarah Sanders, the Secret Service, or whomever you want to blame for this, to actually doctor a video. a video that needed no doctoring, okay? Because whether you speed it up or slow it down, it's still the same incident, okay? It doesn't, to me, because I went back and when I finally realized that there were supposedly two different videos, I definitely watched to make the comparison, and I didn't see either video more or less disturbing. I found both of them equally disturbing, and not because of the speed of the video, not because I even paid any kind of attention to the force in which they're saying is different depending on what video you watch. I see the same thing. I see this, okay? Now, was it a defense against her specifically? I don't think so. I think he wanted to keep the mic, and in keeping the mic, it was an automatic response to block the person who was trying to take it. If you watch and you slow it down and watch, you'll see for a brief second, he lays hands on the intern. It's not for very long. I watched it. I slowed it down. I watched it for myself. For a brief moment, you see his hand actually does touch the intern. And that's where in lies the problem, is that people are saying he never did touch her. What happened was, now of course this is just my perspective, but you're more than welcome to look at the video and determine it for yourself, is in that moment of keeping it away, his automatic response was to move away and his hand go up. He touches her. He realized he touched her and was like, oh shit, pardon me, ma'am, but I'm speaking here. All of that, when you watch it all together, happens very fast. You don't really get to see a lot of what you're looking for when you're just watching it for face value. But if you do slow it down, there is a moment where he does touch her. He realizes he touches her, and that's when he says, pardon me, ma'am. But it doesn't change what he did. He still had a defensive motion, mildly defensive motion, but nonetheless still a motion that blocked her and did not allow her to do her job. Now, I have some friends on Facebook, one in particular who made mention that she has a White House press pass and that everybody in the press room knows the rules. Now, I'm not going to say anybody told me what the rules are, but let's go with common sense for a minute here. You have a live press conference with news organizations and like 50 to 100 people in the room ready to ask questions. There's no rules. It's just a free-for-all. Someone can just take over the room with no regard to anybody else. I mean, somebody literally tried to fight with me yesterday over this very issue, that I have no journalistic experience. I have no experience in the White House. And mind you, those are true facts. But that doesn't mean that I don't understand how we have to organize things in order for things to run smoothly and efficiently. And letting reporters go rogue doesn't allow for efficiency and for time management, which is why we have interns such as this young lady whose job was to take her cues from the president. Because if you watch the video, every time you hear the president say, okay, thank you, who's next, or next question, or next person, she's right there. Like, that's her cue that when the question is over, the mic needs to go to the next person. And she's supposed to do it swiftly, quickly, and really without being noticed. Kind of like at a tennis match. You ever notice when the ball goes rogue? The tennis players don't go after the ball. The little ball chaser goes after the ball. But they have to be quick, swift, efficient, and out of the picture as soon as possible. I would imagine this is the same environment during these press conferences, that the attention isn't supposed to be on the intern. It's supposed to be on the reporter, and it's supposed to be on the president. Jim Acosta made it all about him, made it about the intern, and completely disrupted the entire conference with his shenanigans. And even without the intern's input, without her trying to take the mic, without him playing keep away like a 10-year-old with the mic, he was still very much out of line in his behavior, how he spoke to the president, how he got combative with the president, yelled at the president, argued with the president, tried to debate with the president during a live press conference. This was not the Jim Acosta show. This was not Barbara Walters on a one-on-one sit-down asking the hard, heavy-hitting questions. This was Jim Acosta lecturing the president, trying to get him to recant what he just said and agree with Jim's opinion. Who the cares about Jim Acosta's opinion when he's in the White House reporting on the president? Okay, so he just injected himself into that scenario way too much, way too long, and so outwardly unprofessionally that if the White House did not respond to that, there'd have been backlash for that too. Just saying. I mean, if you look at the video and you watch everything, Jim Acosta was out of line. He kept asking the same question over and over again in a different way, expecting a different answer, which, by the way, is called insanity. And then, okay, so there were some people who argued with me that he was just being a heavy-hitting journalist. He was just trying to get the questions answered. Despite the man's horrible behavior, the president still answered his questions. Go back and look. Stop with all the dramatics and just read the transcripts. He answered his question. Jim Acosta didn't like that. And when Trump doubled down on those answers, then it became about Russia. He completely changed the subject. And I've got people telling me he was just trying to ask the hard-hitting questions. He was being a journalist who wasn't going to let up on the president until he got an answer. But he did get an answer. He just didn't like the answer. And that's the difference there. And again, without the incident with the intern, everything Acosta did that day was against the journalistic rules. Because first of all, you do not make the story about yourself. And he definitely injected himself into the story. Big time. Okay? There needs to be answers for that. Just going off the little bit where people are complaining about how he treated the other reporters in the room that day and how he treated the other reporter today by telling her her question was stupid. Now people are saying the president is attacking specific media because he's racist. And again, if you look at the questions these people asked, come on, we're all adults here. Stop trying to sell us a narrative and actually give us the truth. Our president is not racist. Oh my God, this is just crazy that some of you still believe that. Our president did not collude with Russia. And it's so funny because if you go back right before the president was elected and we were still in campaign mode, Obama comes out and says, Russia did not invade our elections. You can't control the American people with a couple of videos on Facebook. I mean, he literally says that there was no way Russia invaded in our elections. But, exactly, they're still trying to sell that same narrative 2 years later. Okay, so when you have reporters that are literally asking questions based off of race baiting, no real facts, just going on what some people choose to believe about this president and this administration, and you ask those questions, they're stupid, okay? They're uncalled for, and they're time wasting. I think that the president really wanted to get behind the racist stuff and the womanizing stuff, and if he really wanted to make that more clear to the people, he has every opportunity in the world to do so. When you're at a press conference and it's about certain specific things, you're supposed to kind of keep within the subject line. And of course, this is right after the elections. So of course, a lot of these questions are, fair game. But when you're bringing up Russia and you're bringing up racism and you're trying to, yet again, race bait with the word nationalist as if it's white supremacy, it just kind of shows your level of intelligence. And you don't sound very intelligent when you accuse our president of being divisive by calling himself a nationalist. And then he gives you the very definition of nationalist, which is putting our country and our people first. You know that's what he means. You know that's the whole point. But you want to race bait and you want to divide and you want drama. So you drum up all of these stupid questions. And then you expect, because our president is our president, that he's just somehow going to keep his patience 2 years later by answering the same tired ass questions. Come on. You have, first of all, you have a very transparent presidency. I don't think I've seen so many news conferences, so many times the president just stands around answering questions upon questions. I mean, he gives it to you straight. It's just sometimes you guys don't like the answers, and that's okay. You don't have to like the answers, but you do still have to print them truthfully, okay? Your opinion does not matter. I could give two shits about April Ryan's opinion. I could give two shits about Jim Acosta's opinion. But if I actually thought they could give me impartial news and facts, I would definitely listen to them and take them into consideration. But they're too opinionated, and they're too ready for that aha moment, and they're just too ready to stomp on this president at every turn. And I think our president has been very, very patient with how some of these news organizations and their reporters treat him. Sarah Sanders, actually anybody in the administration at this point, because they're all up for fair game to be messed with because they support our president. And I just find it appalling, disgusting, and pretty pathetic that instead of just rolling with the real news, it's always got to be about your propaganda machine and making sure we're all still, listening to what you want us to hear and not what's actually the truth. And I've seen that so many times. I have seen the news manipulate itself and cast a whole different reality than what's true. And this last round with Acosta and CNN sticking up for him and the press corps sticking up for him, and it's like, you all know he was wrong. You all know what the rules are. You all know what's expected of you. But yet again, because we're on this anti-Trump trip, you're going to stick up for people who you know are actually wrong versus leaving the people alone when they're not wrong. And in this situation, Trump was not wrong. The administration was not wrong. And nobody is shutting down freedom of the press by shutting down Jim Acosta. And in case you're not aware, Jim Acosta lost his hard pass. Okay? So that basically means he has no security clearance to just walk into the White House. He now has to go through all the security checks, and he has to get approval from the White House to come in. And we kind of know that right now he's not going to get that approval. But Jim Acosta is not the only news source. He's not the only reporter. They're not the only news organization reporting the news. Shutting down one man for being a complete ass is not shutting down free press. Just because it's Jim today does not mean it's you tomorrow. It just means that take a cue from our president when he says you're done and we need to move on. You're going to respect him, you're going to respect the room, and you're going to respect the intern and do so. And if you can't follow those rules, that's not Trump shutting you down. That's you shutting yourself down. Okay? So when it comes to this whole Acosta thing, it really is more serious than just a little bit of drama at a news conference yesterday. Because again, now you have people using Trump's response as somehow now he's the enemy of the free press, and that's just simply not true. I truly believe that what I witnessed was Jim Acosta embarrassing journalism, and I hope it's quite a while before we see him back in the White House, because he doesn't really deserve the spot. So that's how I feel about that. The whole Tucker Carlson issue, that is just insane for anybody to be showing up at someone's house threatening people, and for anybody in the news to accept that as normal behavior because you don't like Tucker Carlson. That's even more pathetic. I mean, you guys are willing to say it's okay to show up on someone's doorstep because of whose doorstep it was. What if it's your doorstep tomorrow? You know, like, you give people freedom to treat one group of people a certain way. Eventually, people are just going to start treating everybody that way. We have rules, we have expectations, and not just for regular folk, but for our media, for our government. We all have expectations. We all have rules. And just because you're Jim Acosta and you have a White House press pass doesn't mean you're above that. So, didn't really mean to go on as long as I did about the whole Acosta thing, but it really is important to note that there's so many different inaccurate reportings going on right now that a lot of people really just don't know what to believe. And I say, believe your own eyes. Watch the video for yourself. Did you see a hard-hitting reporter, or did you see a rude, obnoxious grandstander who made it all about him, his hatred for the president, and getting as much airtime out of it as he possibly could? And do you think that that was right or fair to the very people he works with and who are in the same room with him, ready to ask their questions? Poor Peter, he got the mic right after all of that crazy stuff went down, and he still wasn't able to just get out a question and move on because Acosta started yelling at the president without the microphone. And you know he was yelling because he didn't have the microphone, and he wanted Trump to hear him as the man right next to him with the microphone was trying to speak. So again, there was just a lot of disrespect from the moment Jim Acosta got the president's attention. And now that he got it, and the way that he got it, I feel he got what he deserved. I don't think that it's an attack on our press. I don't think it's an attack on the freedom of the press. I think them having rules is part of the game. And I also think if a lot of these reporters are going to continuously interject their opinion into every story, they need to reconsider their title and where they're working. This isn't entertainment news. This isn't opinion news. This is the White House, where you are supposed to ask our president the hard-hitting, important questions that Americans want answers to. We don't want to see anybody from the press corps taking it upon themselves to debate, argue, or be disrespectful to our president on any platform, but especially in the White House. You're in his house. Well, you're in America's house, but that was pretty disrespectful. So, before I sign off, tell me what you think. Do you agree, disagree, like, dislike? Did I leave something out? Did you see something that I didn't? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you think of my new studio, my background, my lights. Oh, isn't it so great? It's so exciting. So I will definitely be having more backgrounds and more different fun things in the studio to, you know, just kind of keep things fun and interesting. But until the next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please tell your friends, subscribe, like, hit the notification button, and till next time, guys, thanks so much. Peace.